Hello, my name is Jermaine. I learned several things during the past 8 weeks of this course. They include how to apply leadership attributes to organizations and teams, how to analyze ways to bring about change and remove barriers, including resistance to change, how to develop leadership ability skills and principles to support success in today's culturally complex organizations, and how to create leadership strategies that are the most applicable to leading complex change through uncertainty. When it comes to applying leadership attributes to organizations and teams, one must first know what attributes make a great leader. While there are several attributes out there that make a great leader, in my opinion, a good leader exhibits certain characteristics such as influence, communication, presence, and intellect. During the course of the 8 weeks, we applied these same characteristics within our group and into our assignment of assisting the CEO of a global management organization. Our communication skills were good even though we often had other things going on within our lives. With GMO, the CEO was holding weekly meetings and getting out in front of his employees, making sure everyone understood the company's agenda. As for presence, when we needed to buckle down and get the assignment done, we all showed up and contributed. Presence isn't just about showing up, but actually caring enough to be involved and bringing value to the team. As for influence and intellect, we did great. Everyone was checking each other's work and offering assistance to help facilitate what was needed to get done. Within GMO, the CEO had several team leads that were smart and understood the priorities within each section. The CEO offered incentives to help encourage employees with the transition. He also brought in professionals to teach educational classes in diversity and inclusion. All of these are traits of a good leader who wants to see his or her team win and succeed. In order to analyze change, one must identify the need for change, which is the vision. Once this is done, he or she understands where they can see the organization or team and create a roadmap to get there. During this process, the leader must consider the second and third order of effects. This is something I deal with often in the Army. Change is always just around the corner, at least I feel like it. Right now, I'm in recruiting, and the way we recruit today isn't the same as it was 2 to 3 years ago. In the past, the military have had some of the best educational benefits an employer could give, some of the highest enlistment bonus one could receive, and top-notch health care. Now, almost the majority of our competition are offering the same type of benefits. It's a lot harder to find people who want to serve, but before we could do that, we had to change our recruiting tactics that has worked for years to reach the new generation. The Army brought in sales coaches to teach what they would call urban recruiting. Initially, we all turned it down, but once we conducted our live fire exercises, it worked. Basically, they taught us to know your audience and what they need, then draw a connection to them based off of that. When we started this course, I got off to a rough start, partly because of work requirements. When we broke off into groups, our initial grade on the project wasn't what we were expecting. At that time, we knew change was needed in order to bring up our grade. We met with the professor, and during that meeting, there was resistance as to the expectations. Through constant communication and several corrections, the group was able to deliver a better project, at least in our eyes. Bottom line up front, people are always going to be resistant to change, but trust, credibility, and communication will eventually break those barriers. Developing leadership ability skills is something I love the most because it always ties to the Army. One of the best things about the military is that we grow our leaders from within. All leaders in the Army start in the bottom of their component. That can be either enlisted or as an officer. From day one, you're taught From day one, you're taught principles, values, word ethos, and creeds that one must remember. It's ingrained in you. When you're assigned to an organization within the Army, you learn their motto, capabilities, strengths, and weaknesses. We conduct training weekly and monthly on our tasks and battle drills until we can execute them proficiently. During this course, I was able to apply those same principles within the group. Working in a group isn't the easiest, but the cohesion built once we got to know one another during the short time. We understood each other's strengths and weaknesses, which allowed us to divide the work appropriately. There are several leadership strategies out there, and one must fully understand what the organization or team. There are several leadership strategies out there, and one must fully understand what the organization or team needs before choosing one. First, the group lead gave us reading assignments about learning all the different types of leadership strategies and told us to write within the discussion board why we supported the leadership strategy in regards to the GMO project. From serving in the Army and reading, I discovered several types of leadership strategies, too many to list right now. However, there were two that stuck out to me: transformational leadership and system thinking. See, when creating a leadership strategy, you should consider the organization or team's strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats, which is a SWOT. Conducting a SWOT gives the leader a holistic assessment of the organization performance measures. It allows the leader to use the team's strength while not exposing their weaknesses and not appearing vulnerable to threats. Transformational leadership, system thinking, and developing a SWOT analysis are all the things I could apply in my current occupation. Transformational leadership allows me to continue to develop, coach, and mentor subordinate leaders into strategic leaders. System thinking will allow me to focus on the entire issues and concerns. System thinking will allow me to focus on how issues or concerns affect the overall effectiveness or productivity of the organization. Thank you again, and have a blessed day.